Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So subject matter is this FM signal generator, very cheap one from China. I got this one off Banggood in 2022, so I've had it nearly 3 years. It's worked for what I needed it for. So we've got the power button, output connector, which is a 50 ohm BNC connector. Now we'll make it clear it is a 50 ohm one. So try not to put a 75 ohm one in there, so that probably won't end well. We've got keypad here with various functions on it. The F2 and F4 buttons I have checked don't appear to do anything, and this one didn't come with a power lead, but I do use this. I believe it is center positive, and this is I've measured this with my calipers. It comes out at about 5.5. So what we're going to do is we're going to set that up. First thing I'm going to connect up is a coaxial cable. This is part of my testing equipment. So this is going down to an RF switch, which I've had for a while. I think I got that one at the Blackpool Rally actually last year, and we'll plug that into there. The Blackpool Rally is coming up on the 13th of April. I sadly won't be able to attend that because of what happened in September, so it'll be the first time I've missed it in a while. So that's now connected, and we'll now connect the power up. It goes into the back, and put that in. He does. There we go. So there is a power switch on the front of this, which I hadn't actually switched off when I took that lead out. So if I switch it on, it comes up with a voltage. I think there's a little bit of drop because that doesn't quite tally up with what's showing on the FTM 400's display, because I've got that set to voltage for its previous use in the car. So we've got the display. Unfortunately, we've got the sun shining off it, and there's no blinds or curtains in this room. That's something I've never got round to do. So I'll put my hand there so you can see the display. So you've got your frequency of operation, the signal level coming out, CTCSS or DCS. It will do DCS, but haven't quite figured out how you do that. And a 1 kilohertz tone currently set, which can be adjusted, and a version for the firmware inside. The version of the firmware doesn't really apply to us, so we've got the keys here. So if we press function 1, this steps through the different settings. I'm not sure how well you're seeing that because, again, it's going to be a... So if you press function 1, you can see the little arrow move between the settings. I'm not sure how well. So I'll put it on a frequency setting first. So it's currently on 145,500, as is the radio. You can either use the arrow keys to change out. That's set to quite a low step, so it will take a while. or the best way I find with this is to directly enter the frequency, which would be 145,500. So that's 145.5 megahertz, which is the FM 2-meter calling channel in UK and Europe. I can set it to any other frequency I want, but for this demonstration it's on 145.5. But you can choose any frequency within this range, 500 kilohertz to 470 megs. That's pretty much what it will do. So you can test radios for business bands, 70 centimeters, and you can go as far down as I think even most of the amateur HF band, but because this is an FM signal generator, there's no point in going that low. So the lowest I think you'd probably go with this would be CB, which is round about 27 megahertz. So we'll go to the next one, which is the signal strength. So I'm just going to turn up the volume so you can hear this. So I've got the 1 kilohertz tone turned on. So if I press This is interesting. The up button, that makes the signal weaker. Now we're at its weakest, and I'm still hearing that perfectly well, which means that the FTM 400 is a very sensitive receiver. So let's put it back to where it was. So press function 1 again, which gives me the tone. I could select a tone by pressing the up button or the down button, or just turn the tone completely off by pressing F3. So what you could also do is use that same button to turn the output on and off, like so. So if we then go to CTCSS, F3 will turn it on and off, and you can step through it from 67 to 729.5 Hertz. It'll do DCS as well, but I haven't figured out how to get into that. That's one that's eluded me, but I don't use DCS on anything anyway. I've been using CTCSS on everything, and that's pretty much it. I've never seen DCS ever used in amateur radio, or even though some amateur radio handhelds do have it. Or I can press F3 and just turn that option off. So it should say no CTDC, which means that's now off. And that pretty much sums that up. So F2 and F4 don't appear to do anything. F1, pressing and holding that doesn't do anything. F2, pressing and holding that doesn't do anything. F3, pressing and holding that on this bit gives me the frequency step, but we're not interested in that. Not sure why it's still saying 145,500. So if I press that, press F2 there, nothing. F4 there, nothing. Pressing and holding F3, nothing. Pressing and holding F1, nothing. Same with this. If I'm press and hold F3, nothing. Press and hold F4, or press F4, nothing. Press F2, nothing. Go to that. Press and hold F2. Doesn't seem to do anything. Let's turn it on. Press and hold F2, nothing. Press and hold F4, nothing. Press and hold F3. Doesn't appear to do anything. So if we go back to the tone option again, because that was turned off. Press F2, nothing. Press F4, nothing. Press and hold F3, nothing. You can actually enter the tone directly like that as well. Or press 0, that will also silence it. And that pretty much is how you would use this signal generator. So if you don't have a BNC connector on your coax cable, you can buy an adapter. I do have an adapter that would fit this. I actually have two of those adapters, although I've only been able to find one recently. So I do have RF adapters for all occasions. It's this one, and this is a BNC to SO239. I've got two of those because I needed to, because I've got the signal generator here, which I had to use with an SO239 for a while, and also had the 4-meter version of the Motorola GM350 at the time. So obviously I had to make sure I had something to connect the antenna to that 4-meter radio when I did have it in the car, back when I had it in the car, which obviously I don't have a car right now. So it's just been sat there on top of the power supply. So we've covered that. It was about £67–68 from Banggood, this one. The listing that I bought this off doesn't appear to be on Banggood anymore. But if you do a search for signal generator or even walkie-talkie tester, that seems to work as well, because for whatever reason all transceivers are classed as walkie-talkies by the Chinese. Strange, that one. So AliExpress, Banggood, you might find these on Temu and Wish as well. I don't know. I've never seen them on Amazon, so you never know. They might be on Amazon. But it's not expensive, and if you can't afford a proper big signal generator of some kind of professional grade, like a Marconi one, then this is perfectly acceptable and will do the job. But otherwise, you can also, as an alternative, I haven't covered much of this on the channel, the Tiny SA Ultra. I think that's quite a good tool to use as a signal generator as well, and it actually goes up to a stronger signal output than this one. So I hope you found this video of some sort of use. It's just basically going over the basic features of this thing. I mean, the only way to learn how to use that is by pressing buttons and finding out what does what, because there really is no instructions to be found anywhere. There was on the listing I bought it from, but that listing has now gone. And therefore, if you've tried the link in that video, because I think I might have put a link to that listing in the video, you would have got an error message saying that this item has sold out, here's some alternatives instead. So I've done my best. Like I say, so it's F1 to cycle through the different options. F2 doesn't seem to do anything. F3 switches the options on and off. I can demonstrate that better if I go to something that I can actually disable, like that. And it'll do CTCSS. It should do DCS as well, but I haven't quite figured out how to do that. But I don't need to test for CTCSS and DCS anyway, because I tend to mainly use it just as is. I don't need to check CTCSS on any of the radios I own, which is a good thing. So I'll catch you in the next one, and 7-3 for now. Oh, don't forget, you can like and subscribe my content, and you can also maybe chip in a little bit towards the channel if you do like what I do and want to thank me for the hard work I put into these videos. And also maybe buy me a coffee. That would also thank me for the hard work I do. It'll all go back into the channel and hopefully make better videos. And hopefully now with the nice weather, I might be able to maybe have a walk somewhere quiet. But getting to somewhere quiet is a little bit difficult. And obviously take radio with me, because then I can go on the radio and see if I can make some contacts from somewhere nice. But that's going to probably be once the summer weather gets here. I'm thinking of some antenna projects for the future as well, because there is a tree outside that window, and it looks very tempting to string an antenna into to put up for maybe CB or 2 meters or something. Because I've just recently finished servicing my President Grant 2, or I believe I've finished servicing it. So that might get featured on the channel again very soon. I mean, I decided not to feature the servicing work because it was a nightmare. So stay tuned for future videos that include some of my radio equipment and maybe me making some contacts and maybe some new content as well, depending on what we could do, given the current circumstances. 7-3 for now.